You are in an elevator with your colleague, 12 floors, 30 seconds of silence that feels like 30 years. You want to say something, anything, but your brain produces exactly nothing. Or you are at a party standing next to someone you do not know, and the whole room is buzzing with conversation, except the 2 square meters around you, which are just pure, heavy, painful silence.
The 2-meter silence zone. I have lived there. I basically had a mailing address there.
Today on Next Level English, we are destroying that silent zone forever. We have 20 powerful, natural, real English phrases for small talk that will make you sound warm, effortless, and completely fluent in any casual conversation anywhere in the world. And stay until the very end because the final phrase today is the one that makes people think you are the most interesting person they have ever met.
Not slightly interesting, the most interesting. Stay.
Welcome to Next Level English. I am Maya.
And I am Tom, and today we are talking about the art that nobody teaches you but everyone needs.
Small talk, the gentle, flowing, seemingly effortless conversation that happens between people who are not yet close but want to connect. And most English learners think small talk is shallow.
We are not doing that today.
We are absolutely not. Small talk is not shallow. Small talk is the surface of something deeper. It's the warm-up, the handshake of conversation. Without it, real connection cannot begin.
Think of it this way. You wouldn't walk into a gym and immediately try to lift the heaviest weight. You warm up first. Small talk is the warm-up for human connection.
And once you have the right phrases, small talk does not feel like work anymore. It feels like play.
So let's play, starting with the very first challenge in any small talk situation, breaking the silence.
Breaking the silence means being the one who speaks first. And in English, the most natural and universally loved way to break a silence is a comment about something you both share in that moment, a shared experience, something you are both already living through together.
Like the weather, because yes, talking about the weather is real. Native speakers do it constantly, and it works perfectly as an opener.
And the phrase that does it best is not just nice weather today. It's, can you believe how beautiful it is outside today?
Can you believe how beautiful it is outside today? Say it.
Can you believe how beautiful it is outside today?
Can you believe? That opener is electric. It invites the other person to share a feeling with you immediately. You're not just making an observation, you're asking them to agree, to react, to engage.
Can you believe works in so many situations? Can you believe how busy this place is? Can you believe it's already Friday? Can you believe how long this queue is?
Seam structure, endless situations. Can you believe? Repeat it.
Can you believe?
Now, once the silence is broken, the next challenge is keeping the conversation moving. And the single greatest tool for this is the follow-up question. Not just any question, a warm, curious, specific follow-up.
And the most natural follow-up question in small talk English is, how are you finding it here?
How are you finding it here? Say it.
How are you finding it here?
How are you finding it is a beautiful alternative to do you like it here? Because do you like it is a closed question. The answer is yes or no, and then the conversation stops. But how are you finding it is open. It invites a real answer with real detail.
How are you finding the city? How are you finding the new job? How are you finding living abroad? The same 4 words open up completely different conversations depending on the context.
How are you finding it? One more time.
How are you finding it?
Now, let's talk about what happens when someone asks you how you are and you want to give an answer that's more interesting than the standard, I'm fine, thank you.
Because fine is the word that ends conversations.
Fine is a conversational full stop. It says nothing and invites nothing.
So what do you say instead? You say, honestly, I'm really good. It's been such a full week.
Honestly, I'm really good. It's been such a full week. Say that.
Honestly, I'm really good. It's been such a full week.
2 things happening there. Honestly signals that what follows is genuine, not polite performance. And it's been such a full week immediately gives the other person something to ask about.
A full week means a week packed with things happening. Busy, but in a rich, full way. It's more interesting than busy because it suggests life, not just work.
It's been such a full week. Repeat it.
It's been such a full week.
And if you want to immediately pass the energy back and show interest, you follow with, but enough about me, what about you?
But enough about me, what about you?
This phrase is like a gift wrapped in words. It tells the other person that you are not the kind of person who monologues. You're curious, you want to hear from them, and people absolutely love being asked about themselves.
But enough about me. What about you? One more time?
But enough about me, what about you?
Let's do our first role play right now because the language needs to come alive. We're at a work event, two colleagues who don't know each other well. Tom walks over.
Hey Maya, can you believe how many people are here tonight?
Right? I had no idea this many people worked in the building. How are you finding the event so far?
Honestly, it's pretty good. It's been such a full week, so I wasn't sure I had the energy to come, but I'm glad I did. What about you? Are you enjoying it?
I really am, actually, but enough about me. What about you? Are you usually good at these kinds of events, or does it take a while to warm up?
I need at least 2 conversations before I become a real human being.
Same, completely same.
And scene. Did you catch everything? Can you believe? How are you finding it? Honestly, it's been such a full week, but enough about me. What about you? All of it, completely natural in under 60 seconds.
This is what fluent small talk actually looks like. Not perfect sentences, but real, warm, flowing human exchange.
Now let's go deeper, because once the initial exchange is done, you need to find a topic that keeps things going. And the best small talk topics are the ones that almost everyone has an opinion about.
Things like weekend plans, current events, local places, food, travel. And the phrase that opens all of these topics beautifully is, have you been to any good restaurants lately?
Have you been to any good restaurants lately? Repeat it.
Have you been to any good restaurants lately?
This question works everywhere, at a work event, at a party, on a first date, on an airplane, because food is universal. Everyone eats, everyone has an opinion about where they eat. And restaurants open up a conversation about neighborhood, about taste, about culture.
And you can substitute restaurants with anything. Have you seen any good films lately? Have you been anywhere good lately? Have you tried anything new lately? Lately is the key word here.
Lately. Lately. It means recently, in the recent past, and it makes the question feel current, relevant, and genuinely curious about the person's life right now.
Lately. Say it.
Lately.
Now, when someone gives you an answer in small talk, the magic is in the response. Not just nodding, not just saying, oh, cool, but a response that shows you were really listening. And the phrase for that is, oh, that's so funny you say that because...
Oh, that's so funny you say that because... Say it.
Oh, that's so funny you say that because...
This phrase is conversational gold. It creates a sense of coincidence, of connection, of two experiences meeting. Even if it's not literally funny or coincidental, it signals enthusiasm. It says what you just said triggered something real in me.
For example, oh, that's so funny you say that because I was literally just talking about that restaurant with a friend yesterday. Or, oh, that's so funny you say that because I've been wanting to try that place for months.
It bridges your story to their story, and bridging stories is the invisible skill behind every effortless conversation.
Oh, that's so funny you say that because... One more time?
Oh, that's so funny you say that because...
Now, let's talk about a word that every small talk conversationalist needs to know. The word is segue.
Segue. S-E-G-U-E. Pronounced segue. A segue is a smooth, natural transition from one topic to another. In music, it means moving from one piece to the next without stopping. In conversation, it means shifting topics without it feeling abrupt or awkward.
And the elegant small talk segue in English sounds like this. That actually reminds me, have you ever...
That actually reminds me. Have you ever? Say it.
That actually reminds me, have you ever...
That actually reminds me. 4 words that make any topic shift feel completely natural. You're not changing the subject, you're connecting it. Something they said reminded you of something else. The conversation flows like water.
That actually reminds me, have you ever tried cooking your own pasta? That actually reminds me, have you ever been to that part of the city? That actually reminds me, have you ever done something like that before?
The structure is always the same. That actually reminds me. Then your new direction. Smooth every single time.
Segue. Say it.
Segue.
Now, let's talk about something that most people never consider in small talk, but that changes everything. Knowing how to give a compliment that opens a conversation rather than closes it.
Ah, a closing compliment versus an opening compliment. What's the difference?
A closing compliment is something like, I love your bag, full stop. The other person says, thank you. The exchange ends. A conversation opener compliment is the same observation followed by a genuine question.
So it sounds like, I love your bag. Where is it from?
I love your blank. Where is it from? That's the structure.
I love your blank. Where is it from? Repeat it.
I love your blank. Where is it from?
This structure works for anything. I love your accent. Where are you originally from? I love the way you explained that. Where did you study? I love this place. Have you been here before?
Every compliment becomes an invitation, and every invitation keeps the conversation alive.
Now, let's talk about what happens when a small talk topic starts to fade, when the conversation has a natural pause and you need to either deepen it or gracefully move it to something new.
The pause is not your enemy. A lot of English learners panic during a conversational pause and say something random just to fill the silence. Don't do that.
Instead, use the pause to do something intentional, and the phrase that handles a pause with complete elegance is, "So tell me something. What do you do for fun?"
So tell me something. What do you do for fun?
So tell me something. What do you do for fun?
So tell me something. That opener is warm and inviting. It signals that you want to know something real about them, not just polite surface information, something that reveals who they actually are.
And what do you do for fun is the most beautiful small talk question in the English language because it moves the conversation from roles to personality, from what someone does professionally to who they are personally.
So tell me something. What do you do for fun? One more time.
So tell me something. What do you do for fun?
Now, let us do our second role play, a longer scene, from an opening moment all the way through a full small talk conversation. Watch how every phrase connects to the next.
We are on an airplane, seated next to each other. The flight just reached cruising altitude.
So, are you traveling for work or for fun?
Actually, a little of both. I have a conference, but I'm staying an extra few days to explore. How about you?
Just for fun this time. Honestly, it has been such a full month. I really needed it. Have you been to the city before?
Once, years ago. How are you finding it? Is this your first time?
It is, and I cannot believe how much there is to do. Have you been to any good restaurants over there?
Oh yes, there's this one place right in the old town. Tiny, no menu, just whatever the chef decides that day.
Oh, that is so funny you say that, because I've been looking for exactly that kind of place. No tourist menus, just real food.
Exactly. That actually reminds me, have you ever done one of those local food tours? Because that is honestly how I found it the first time.
I have not, but now I absolutely want to. So tell me something. What do you do for fun when you're not traveling?
I feel like traveling is the fun, but also I love cooking. I collect recipes from every city I visit.
That might be the most wonderful thing anyone has said to me on an airplane.
And scene.
Did you hear every single phrase working together in that scene? Can you believe? How are you finding it? It has been such a full month. Have you been to any good restaurants lately? Oh, that is so funny you say that because that actually reminds me. So tell me something. What do you do for fun? All flowing into each other like one long, natural, genuinely enjoyable conversation.
That is what fluency feels like. Not looking for the next phrase, just living inside the conversation and letting the phrases come naturally because you have practiced them enough that they belong to you.
They belong to you. Let us make sure they do with a few more essential expressions.
The next one is a phrase that shows the other person that you are genuinely engaged in what they are saying, not just waiting for your turn. The phrase is, "I know exactly what you mean."
I know exactly what you mean. Say it.
I know exactly what you mean.
This is one of the most connecting phrases in conversational English. When you say, I know exactly what you mean, you're creating a bridge of shared understanding. You're telling someone that they are not alone in their experience.
And people feel seen when they are told that. Feeling seen is one of the deepest human needs, and small talk is one of the places it can unexpectedly happen.
I know exactly what you mean. One more time.
I know exactly what you mean.
Now, there's a vocabulary word that belongs at the center of every small talk conversation. The word is relatable.
Relatable. relatable. Something is relatable when other people can understand it from their own experience, when they recognize themselves in it.
And when something someone says is relatable, you can tell them directly, that is so relatable.
That is so relatable. Repeat it.
That is so relatable.
3 words that validate someone completely, that says, I have felt that too, I've lived that too. You are not strange or alone in that experience.
And relatable people are magnetic because when you make someone feel understood, they want to keep talking to you, forever if possible.
Possibly. Now, let's talk about gracefully ending a small talk conversation, because knowing how to exit is just as important as knowing how to enter.
The mistake most people make when ending small talk is disappearing abruptly, just stopping and walking away. It leaves the other person feeling slightly abandoned.
Slightly abandoned, a very specific feeling.
Very specific and very real. Instead, you give what's called a warm close. And the most natural warm close in English is, "It was so lovely chatting with you."
It was so lovely chatting with you. Say it.
It was so lovely chatting with you.
Chatting, chatting. To chat means to have a light, informal, enjoyable conversation. Chatting is the noun form. Saying it was lovely chatting frames the whole interaction as something pleasant and worth remembering.
It was so lovely chatting with you. And then you add the forward-looking close, which is, "I hope we run into each other again."
I hope we run into each other again. Repeat.
I hope we run into each other again.
To run into someone means to meet them by chance, unexpectedly. Saying, I hope we run into each other again is warm without being pressuring. You're not asking for their number, you're not proposing a plan, you're simply expressing that this interaction had value and you would welcome another one.
I hope we run into each other again. One more time.
I hope we run into each other again.
And for our final expression of the entire episode, the one we promised at the very beginning, the phrase that makes people think you're the most interesting person they've ever met.
Here it comes.
The phrase is, I never thought about it that way before.
I never thought about it that way before. Say it with us.
I never thought about it that way before.
When you say this to someone, you give them one of the greatest gifts a conversation can offer. You tell them that they changed the way you see something, that your mind moved because of them.
And almost no one ever says this. Most people just nod. Most people just agree or disagree. But the person who says, I never thought about it that way before, is the person who leaves a lasting impression.
Because they made the other person feel genuinely interesting, genuinely insightful, worth listening to.
I never thought about it that way before. One final time.
I never thought about it that way before. Final recap, everything we learned today, every single phrase, in the order you'll use them.
Can you believe your silence-breaking opener that invites the other person to share a feeling immediately?
How are you finding it? The open-ended question that replaces do you like it with something genuinely curious.
Honestly, I'm really good. It's been such a full week. Your interesting answer to how are you?
But enough about me. What about you? The phrase that shows you are curious and generous in conversation.
Have you been to any good restaurants lately? The universal small talk topic opener that works anywhere.
Lately, the word that makes any question feel current and genuinely interested in their life right now.
Oh, that is so funny you say that, because the bridge phrase that connects your experience to theirs.
Segue, the smooth, natural transition from one topic to another.
That actually reminds me, have you ever the most elegant segue phrase in conversational English?
I love your blank. Where is it from? The compliment that becomes an invitation to keep talking.
So tell me something. What do you do for fun? The question that moves from roles to personality.
I know exactly what you mean. The connection phrase that makes someone feel understood.
Relatable, something that others can recognize from their own experience.
That is so relatable. 3 words that validate someone completely.
It was so lovely chatting with you. Your warm, graceful way to close any small talk conversation.
Chatting, light, informal, enjoyable conversation.
I hope we run into each other again. The warm, forward-looking close that leaves a door open without pressure.
I never thought about it that way before. The phrase that makes you unforgettable.
20 expressions, one complete small talk toolkit, from the first word to the last.
You're never standing in the silent zone again. You're the person who starts the conversation, keeps it warm, and ends it beautifully.
In English, naturally, like it was always yours.
Because now it is. Subscribe to Next Level English because every week we give you real English for real life, not the textbook version, the version that actually works when you're standing in an elevator with 12 floors to go.
Or on an airplane, or at a party, or anywhere two humans find themselves next to each other.
Tom, I never thought about it that way before.
She used it, the final phrase in the final seconds.
See you at the next level.
Bye.
Bye.